Hey beautiful people, it's Rickita back with another video. So in this video, I want to answer some questions that I got from you guys. Now, usually I review these questions ahead of time. Let me give a warning. And I didn't actually review it ahead of time so I could be prepared for the questions. So sometimes if I need to do a little bit more research, then I'll have to come back to some of the questions. But let's go ahead and answer these questions. If this is your first time watching my videos, my name is Rickita. I talk about real estate. I talk about credit. So if you guys are trying to purchase a home, definitely let me know. I have my information down below. I don't care what state you are in. I can help you guys definitely find a realtor that's in your area that I can personally vouch for. That I think will definitely be able to help you purchase a home. If you're trying to get approved, I can find you a lender also. And if for some reason your credit score is low, then definitely let me know because I can help you increase your credit score. And I have my 60 points in 60 days where I can teach you guys how to increase your credit score 60 points in 60 days. If you guys are in Florida already, then definitely check out my classes because I actually do it in person where I teach you guys how to increase your credit score 60 points in 60 days, and it's going to be actually in person, and it's free if you guys are in Florida, or I'd actually do it in person. So definitely come check me out if you guys are in Florida and you guys can't do it in person, but definitely check out that link that I have down below. But let's go ahead and answer these questions because there's a lot of them and I don't want to miss any. Make sure you guys like this video, make sure you guys subscribe, and yeah, if you got any questions, put them down below in the comments. So here, is it possible to use someone else's email that's in school like a friend if you're currently not enrolled? When you guys are applying for a credit card, like a student credit card, it's best to use your student email address. Somebody asked, can you use your friend's email address? Think about it like this. All of your information about your credit card is going to go to your friend's email address. I would rather you use your personal email address. And if you're not currently in school, find other credit cards because the school credit cards are like not always like the best credit cards. There's other credit cards you can get. So yes, you can technically use your friend's email address, but I just don't suggest it. I just suggest that you go ahead and put your personal email address in, and you're not required to use your school email address when you're applying for school credit cards either. It's just best that you guys have a school email and you have your school email address on the application when you guys apply. Let me show you guys this Discover card because the Discover account, they have a student credit card that I really like. They actually have two of them. So let me share my screen so that you guys can see this one. You do not have to put your email address in there. You don't have to. I just really suggest that your student email address. I just really suggest that you do put your student email address in because you got a greater chance of being approved. So they have their student cash back credit card. I guess some people, instead of trying to get a secure credit card, they would try to get this one because this student one is just like their regular cashback card. Only difference is I really y'all get just the cashback card if y'all can, because you got 0% intro APR for 15 months on purchases and balance transfers. But the student one, you only got 0% intro APR for 6 months on your purchases. So this is one of their student cards you guys can check out. Then they also have their student Chrome card. This was more like their secure in terms of like the rewards. You get 2% cash back at gas stations and restaurants up to $1,000 in combined purchases for each quarter, and then 1% back everywhere else. And that's just like their secure one here. It has the same exact thing. And they have the 0% intro APR for 6 months on your purchases. But I just don't like the thought of you guys putting a friend's email address in, because sometimes they could have pre-qualified or pre-approved you for a credit card, and it could have been based off your email address too. And now you put your friend email address in, and now they can't approve you for a card. So I just suggest you put your own email address in. If you still put your friends in after you get approved, everything set up, please update them and say, hey, this is my email address. Like, get that stuff changed out. Even if you guys have hard inquiries on your credit reports, you probably still have a great chance of getting approved for the Dell account. So if you have hard inquiries, do not let that stop you from trying to get approved for the Dell accounts, because that's an easier account to get. Even people that don't have the best credit can actually get approved for the Dell accounts. Keep this in mind. If you guys have inquiries on Experian, the best thing you can do is call them and say, hey, I have these inquiries in my credit report that's not supposed to be on here. And 9 times out of 10, they're going to remove them literally in like 48 hours. So call them, call the credit bureaus, okay? Call them. Don't be scared. They're going to remove those right away. Now, let's check out the Dell account, because people don't understand, like, that Dell account is very, very easy to get. Like, it's very, very easy to get. So here is the Dell account, and you guys can pre-qualify for the Dell account too. So don't think, oh, I don't want to apply for it, I think I'm gonna get denied. You don't know if you're going to get denied. And since they can pre-qualify you without a hard inquiry, then I definitely suggest that you guys try to get that card or try to get that account, because you can get pre-qualified for it without a hard inquiry. So any card that you can get pre-qualified for, I definitely think you guys should just go ahead and try to get it. So again, here is the Dell account. You can get pre-qualified for the account. Like I said, they have promotional things, so definitely check out their promotions and their special offers that they have, like the no interest when you guys purchase something and you pay it in full, as long as it's more than $2.99. So check out like the different things that they have, but you can actually pre-qualify for this without a hard inquiry. I'm not going through my location, but again, this won't impact your credit score. So I know some people are like, I want to remove inquiries, I want to do this, I want to do that. And it's like, just try to see if you can get pre-qualified for it, because you may not need to worry about your inquiries or even think about removing them from your credit report. So just try to see if you can get pre-qualified for it. Put this information and see if you can get pre-qualified. Make sure that your credit reports are not frozen. If you have them frozen, then you want to unfreeze them, okay? So check to see if they're frozen, unfreeze them, try to see if you can get pre-qualified for it, and then go through the process. The pre-qualification is not a hard inquiry, but if you accept whatever they're going to give you, that is going to be a hard inquiry, okay? That is definitely going to be a hard inquiry. If it says everything. What happens if I see the card? So when you guys apply for a credit card and they say, hey, purchase something for, you have to have at least $1,000 in purchases within your first 60 days to open your card. That's just meaning that you have to make those purchases within the first 60 days or whatever time frame they said. But if they say that they were going to give you 0% APR for 18 months or for 12 months, you're going to have that 0% APR even on that $1,000 that you purchased or whatever you spent on that card. You're going to have that 0% APR on that. You're not required to pay whatever they told you have to go ahead and purchase on your card. A lot of times they do that just to make sure that you're using your card. That's it. They want you to use your card. So don't worry about when do you have to pay your first bill, just to make sure that everything is good, all of that. Just you can pay the minimum balance on your credit cards when they have the 0% APR, because you're not going to get charged interest. Okay, so don't be scared. And let me show you guys like one of like the Dell, not the Dell accounts, but like, let me show you guys one of the other credit cards that offer that 0% APR, because a lot of people are very confused on like what the 0% APR really means. And the Discover card has it. So let's go and look at the Discover. Now we can look at the Discover It cashback. So you have the 0% intro APR for 15 months on your purchases and balance transfers. So what that means is they're not going to charge you interest for your first 15 months. Sometimes you're going to see billing cycles. So that means when your statement comes out, that's one billing cycle. So you have 18 of those, you have 15 of those. They're not going to charge you interest. Just make sure that anything that you're spending on that card, make sure that you have it paid off. Anything you're getting that 0% APR for, make sure you have that all paid off before the time is over with. So like this one is 15 months. If I charge, $3,000, I want to make sure I had $3,000 paid within my first, before the 15 months, or they're going to charge me interest on that. Okay. They're going to charge me interest on that. And I don't want to be charged interest on that. And another thing, sometimes let's look up Bank of America, because I know Bank of America, they are the one that really talk about like billing cycles. So let's look up their credit cards. And sometimes some of the credit cards may say that you have to spend a certain amount on a credit card. So let's look at their credit cards. You have to spend a certain amount to get a bonus. So yeah, this one has a bonus offer. I don't see that you have to spend anything though to get this your bonus offer for this. But look, 0% intro APR for your first 15 billing cycle for purchases and for balance transfers made within this is probably the confusion too. So for balance transfers, you got to make sure you got to transfer that balance on like another that was on another credit card within 60 days of opening it. But when they have that 0% APR, if you transfer a balance, in, you have that 0% APR for the 18 months. But if you want to transfer the balance in, you got to do it within the first 60 days for it to count. So balance transfers after the 60 days, they're going to just treat that as just like a balance transfer and charge you just the regular fees. You're not going to have the 0% APR on that. But hopefully I answered that question correctly, and hopefully it kind of went over everything. Hey, how do I avoid it out? Let me look and see what this one is about, because I think no, you know what? I know what this one is about because I've seen this question. So you cannot avoid your accounts being maxed out unless you just do not use your card and you do not put charges on it. That's the only way you can avoid your accounts being maxed out, especially if you guys are doing like care credit, the Alpheon, any type of thing where you're getting some type of surgery or some type of procedure. The only way you can avoid that utilization being high and it's been maxed out is by not putting the charges on that card or on that account. That's the only way you can avoid it. A lot of times, if you guys get like the care credit and you know you're going to spend $5,000 on it, your limit is $6,000. That's a lot you're going to be spending. Your credit score is going to drop. I tell people to apply for other credit cards that have high limits also, so that your overall utilization can be lower than what it would be as if you did not have those credit cards. But that's the only way you can avoid a credit card not being maxed out, is by applying for other credit cards. That's the only way, or not putting your charge on a credit card or paying it off. That's the only way you can avoid it. Let me show you guys some of, like, say if you have credit cards and you're concerned about maxing it out, or your utilization. Let me show you a few credit cards that I always tell people to try to get to help with your utilization. So we was previously talking about Bank of America. You guys can definitely come to Bank of America and see what accounts they can possibly approve you for Bank of America. I also tell people to apply for like the Apple credit card. The Apple card can actually pre-qualify you without a hard inquiry. So I definitely want you guys to try to see if you can apply for the Apple card, because they can give you a higher limit. And if they can approve you for a higher limit, you guys, then I will say, jump on it. And you don't have to use the cards, especially if you want to help with your utilization. The goal is not to use these cards. So if you guys need higher cards, definitely check out like the Apple card. If you don't already have the care credit, I think this person was asking about the care credit. So They probably won't do the care credit, but you guys can definitely apply for the care credit. They can pre-qualify you without a hard inquiry. So this is another great option. You guys can apply for the care credit. And again, you can pre-qualify without a hard inquiry, and they know for giving higher limits. Another one, and I hope I say it right, but I just be saying it. Alpheon. I don't know. I always called it that. Hopefully, I'm saying it right. But Alpheon credit is another great one. You can now pre-qualify it for this one without a hard inquiry. So I really like this one. I actually had this one, and then I had a Vision one, and these gave me over $10,000 limits. I never use it. They end up closing it for inactivity, but it's great for utilization. So I had this one. I had a Vision one. Let me see if this one is also available. These are just easier ones, especially if you have your Equifax credit report clean. This is great for you. So you can also try the Smile Generation. So let's click right here and see. Let me see, maybe. Let me see if you guys can still apply for it, because these are the ones that's going to be great for that utilization. So yeah, you can apply for it. When I first started helping people, like I used to go to the library and help people for free increase their credit score. When I seen people at high utilization, I told them to get this one right here. I had over a $10,000 limit on this one also. And I even helped my dad get this one. He got like a $7,500 limit. I don't know if he still got it because he hadn't used it. This was years ago when I was helping people and he got approved for it. But this is the one when you got a high utilization on your credit cards. I tell people to apply for this one because these are like easier ones and they're going to give you high limits, and then most likely you're not going to use it. Like most likely you're probably not going to use it. It'd be great for utilization. You can also apply for other things like the Discover. That one can pre-qualify you without a hard inquiry, so you may want to look into that one. That can be a great one that you guys will want to check out. Check out Navy Federal too. But you just want to make sure that you have other credit cards, reporting to the credit bureaus that you have a credit card and have higher limits, so that when you use too much on a credit card, your utilization won't be too high, which will lower your credit score. So it'll look like your utilization is very low.